Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 10.33 and other mods. Yes. Full details, first episode. Okay, we're going to definitely be doing some more organization specials. They will be labeled as such at the time. But as sort of starting to do them, I figured I needed to get some of the units that are already on the map, like these guys, sort of over to where they need to be. And we'll be doing that coming soon. So we're not going to do that. Got some other stuff to talk about, but we're going to get this started first here in going. Okay, so well, let's check out this. This has been around for a while, I believe. I don't know if it's been changed. Okay. War Games offer. I guess we could theoretically ignore it, but we have enough money, supplies, and at peace, so we're going to take it. I do know that there's this negative effects here, ruling party support and officer recruitment, but there's other stuff coming, so we're gonna click on it. Okay, War Games. All armed forces show their skills. Everybody will know the nation's power. Well, I don't. There definitely was propaganda events for that, for sure, but there were really several big maneuvers, if you will, sort of war games going on in Germany. That were at least core level, core scale, multiple divisions per side. I know there's also some fairly famous ones like in 1940 in the USA as well. So these things were going on. Okay, so now since we have enough money here, again, you know my tirade about money. Supplies, sure, 10,000, hell of a lot, but one of the reasons why I say keep making extra supplies. But supplies, sure. Okay, so but we will for a while. Not just the 10,000, but minus 5%. Ruling party support and officer recruitment by plus 5, as well as incompetent generals will be removed, which was just added because we can officer recruitment here. We can, boy, I am not putting my thing over the correct one. Here it is. We can see here the second from the bottom, incompetent generals was just added, minus 5%. Wonder maybe, because I've often wondered about how where the percents are. But I just noticed incompetent generals is one up from the bottom, but that is not an alphabetical list. Would have thought the newest one would have been at the bottom or something. Maybe that's the way the whole thing is calculated. First, if you wanted to do that, I don't know, first 15%, whatever the base score is, 15%. And then then another 5%, and then 5% on top of that, and then 35%? Or is it just all of those percents plus minus whatever, and then that to the base score? Is it compounded or is it off the base? I don't know. Somebody may be able to do the math. I don't know. I can't. Yeah, I'm not going to. Okay, so we'll lose that. So we'll pay for that. And so now we now have satisfied general second from the bottom. And okay, so good. We can do these here. Okay, so we can see here money at least 3,000, which we have 7,000, 2,000, 2,500. So these will probably be expensive events. And we need to have at least 100 airplanes for that one, 75 ships. And enough brigades, especially those SA ones are probably helping out there, and supplies are at least 15,000 each one. So we're going to Click those, get those done and out of the way. Okay, so military parade. That says 1,500, 10,000. Not just for the parade, but I presume all the training that's gone on to get these here. I think there's like a final thing. I'm not sure. Now I've sent some sort of first line basic divisions over here. I'm also sending a few garrison units over. Now garrison units, and I don't know specifically, what units where, were shifted around, guys like these. And air defense units were also shifted around during the war, of course, and leading up to it. Okay, Hungary. Yes, you may have that. Not much money back. Okay, so forming horse vessel. Yes, we'll take that. Remove those brigades. Now, okay, we want to. Let's. Just because we've had a huge, massive hit here. Now it's red also. That down by 600, I think, is just them. Well, the sending supplies to some of these rapidly. If you move a unit by, especially by strategic redeployment, it moves faster than the computer figures out the sort of supply stuff. Okay, Reich Protector Konstantin von Roth, I always have trouble with that name, I'm probably mispronouncing it, was appointed Reich Protector of occupied Bohemia and Moravia, serving as Hitler's personal representative to the Protectorate. Okay, now, remember, in real life, he was the foreign minister. And so I'm not sure if this was an immediate move, like, oh, you're from foreign minister, oh, well, you're going to be Reich Protector, or whether he had already been dismissed as a foreign minister and von Ribbentrop had been, replaced him. Whether that was before or after this, I don't know right offhand. Someone could look up the dates if they're that curious. But just to sort of give the general, he was the general background. He was the foreign minister. He was a one of the sort of nice faces shown to the world of the National Socialist state. While he was foreign minister, one of the ambassadors to England was von Ribbentrop. Now, von Ribbentrop, I do believe through this whole time period, while he was foreign minister, was the NSDAP's, the party's sort of foreign minister or head of foreign relations for the party. So that is not the official contact between nations, but he's running sort of party foreign policy. He was running it, I think before the Nazis come to power, but just as sort of the guy who does, monitors foreign relations and whatnot for the party. So he's been doing that. I think he still stays as that while he's ambassador to England. Ribbentrop didn't do so well as ambassador to England. Like, I remember reading, because I read the biography on him many years ago. He does the Hitler salute when he presents his documentations to the Queen officially. That's from the ambassador is supposed to, when you go to a nation and when you're officially introduced, say, like a U.S. ambassador today goes and presents his credentials to the president of Germany, not to the chancellor of Germany, but to the head of state, even though he's probably going to mostly be contacting the head of government for daily business. So the Queen, or the King, sorry if I said the Queen, I probably did. Wow. The King at the time does the Hitler salute to the King. And, as the head of state. And then, of course, dealing with Chamberlain or whoever was the prime minister at the time when Ribbentrop was ambassador to England. But Um, eventually, Ribbentrop places von Neurath. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but so he is moved in here. But you can see he cracked down on protesting students October, November. 12,000 protesters went to concentration camps, and 9 were executed at the time. But he is definitely the friendly face, even with all of that, the friendly face of National Socialist Germany. And so he is put, and it's both to be sort of a friendly face to the Czechs, like, hey, yeah, we can all get along kind of thing, just don't rock the boat. These guys are rocking the boat, as well as sort of the friendly face, because he was well received diplomatically by various governments around the world, that, hey, we put the good guy in charge of taking over Czechoslovakia, trying to, not that it works, but trying to reassure countries like France, England, wherever, what's going on. Okay. Gross Deutschland, Greater Deutschland, the 1st of May 1939, National Freitag, Free Day, das Deutschen Volk. This is replacing the May Day, the sort of socialist May Day celebration. This, as you can see from that, is the DAF symbol there. The Deutsches Arbeitersfront, the National Socialist, here, Workers' Front, or labor union. Remember, I think it was in 33 or 34, I forget which. They hold a really big Germany-wide May Day celebration, would be with the DAF, in conjunction with the sort of socialist labor unions, not the communists, but the socialist labor unions. Big joint party. We all get along, all go great together. It's great. Yeah, May 1st, hooray, hurrah, celebration, get drunk on beer. Yeah. I believe it was May 2nd, nationally, they raid every single leftist union headquarters, beating some people up, I'm sure. Don't know how many people they arrested. I think they may have arrested some, and confiscated all of their files, membership files. So it was directed at the leadership of the socialist labor unions. So the German Socialist and the International Socialist had a party together in the next day, and it was well planned, of course, beforehand. So day off from work, do some dissent, gains popularity because they do throw a big party. Okay, SS Pioneer Schule, Harchenko, with expanding Reich SS Vogelstrup VT is expanding. Should we build a school for SS Pioneer Sturmband of the SS VT location of near Prague has been found suitable? Many think we should keep training with the Army Pioneer schools in Berlin, whatever, Saltboat, and we'll give some more details. Okay, this is a period like 1930s, 38, 39, patch, cuff band, and photo of some SS guys building a bridge, training. Now, but they were being trained by the Army at this time. We can either build a school or leave it to the Army. Well, we have the supplies, and we'll use the manpower, and we'll have a school built there. So we'll gain in some bridging and assaulting equipment. Now, historically, they didn't do this. Why is it here? Because they're if you don't take the event, something like 1942, I forget when, there's a second event pops up. Do you want to build a school now? That's when they did it. So I just moved it to give the Waffen-SS possibility of having pioneers earlier. Okay. Okay, reorganize. Yeah, I'm just, because if we do, the negative effects are most likely to be positive, but the negative effects currently are things that we're not, except for officer recruitment, really. Okay, the Skoda works. Okay, when Germany took over the western half of Czechoslovakia in 1939, Skoda became the arsenal for the German military, producing Panzer 35T tanks. the Panzer 38T tank destroyers, which was much later, but they just started to produce 38Ts, and we're still producing some 35Ts when the Germans take it over. Well, I think one of the contracts for the 35Ts, maybe for Sweden or something, but Germany basically cancels it and keeps the tanks themselves. K1 howitzers, among other equipment. So we get Skoda. And Skoda and the Bruno are CZ for small arms were the sort of main production elements for the old Austro-Hungarian army. Skoda produced the mountain guns, the heavy guns for Austro-Hungary and whatnot. Okay, we have a report. That Jan Rees Rosiak, journalist and politician who published, I'm not even Jewish Freemasonry, the Scourge of has now become leader of the Vedka, that means flag if I'm not mistaken, in the Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia. Now, you can see him speaking there in his photo, and you can see from the rallies they're using this symbol here on flag. That's a pin that, no, that's not what he's wearing here, but some of these lapel pins, and speaking with also a Nazi flag. Eventually it comes down to basically one party is allowed, but to be continuing in Bohemia. Yes, industrial zone is ready. But there's a tightening up period, getting rid of parties that are unacceptable. Okay, the 38 millimeter Siegfried cannon, metal, 5,000 supplies. That's cost us a big time. Okay. So now tanks, planes, guns, ships, all three branches of the armed forces are organized. So this is, I guess, the end of the training thing. Okay, Bohemian and Moravian. We can do this, control our land. So we now have sort of this division here. And some command elements for military organizing our newly conquered area. Okay, Iran. We give them money in exchange for... No, you're not trading with us. Okay, so now we have... so we now have down here one of these effects where famous military power organization regain rate +2, very nice. Okay, twin engine ground crew training has advanced. Very nice. Here we go. We'll let that go because it's still just a 38 technology. Okay, from the earlier event, you remember Hans Oland sort of had a rather crude earlier jet engine, so they basically stuck on a somewhat more developed jet engine below a regular airplane. I don't know if whether it's obviously not on this line drawing, whether that, because it looks like there may be, but those just may be redundant holes. But the exhaust holes, there may be an engine in there and a propeller just in case the jet engine cuts out while flying. I don't know, but they're just basically strapping a jet engine below whatever model of aircraft this is, an HE 118 dive bomber, I guess. Heinkel, yeah, because it's Heinkel is the one. That's Heinkel. That's Hans Olin. Is the one funding the jet development, or funding, as well as I'm sure some of it's coming from the government too, but also the main aircraft production company that's dealing with the jets, or developing jet engines, shall we say. Okay, so we get a little bit of that if we want to. Yes, we'll take that. Czech artillery systems. Okay, Czechs that's a 47 millimeter anti-tank gun, better than the anti-tank gun Germany's using. Their 37. 37 isn't bad, but this is a better gun. basically for Germany, I mean, minuscule numbers sort of used were towed, but most of the guns end up on the Jagdpanzer 1. And some artillery, so get a bunch of guns. It looks like we get confiscated artillery unit. Okay, send in the Ordnungspolizei into Bohemia and Moravia. Yes. The 6th Wella, okay. Since we get so much done, I do want to save this again. I'm just a little paranoid about saving things. Okay, from Romania, we would give them money for crude. Okay, yes, because we could still continue to stock up more crude. Oil. And what I want to do here is pull down these guys. Well, we could probably just have them walk the HQs over. Now we also have the police now here in Prague. Okay, this I think came partially from that artillery thing. And to make them motorized. Okay, there we go. So what this and this is, because the Czechs had some reasonably decent mountain guns as well, and then like I talked about the stuff. I didn't make these events, so I'm just interpreting. So here you go. These aren't meant to be units. These are meant to be stuck onto other units, to make building cheaper. So you got some medium and standard artillery, so 5 divisions I can make without artillery at all, and add those to it. 2 mountain divisions could be made without artillery, and one anti-tank and 2 flak as we need. Plus we can motorize the Czechs, Tatra, particularly Tatra truck or Tatra automobiles, Tatra, maybe that's more the correct pronunciation of it, but yeah, they produce trucks as well as Horcha, I think. Is it Horcha? I forget. There are several other Czech vehicle manufacturers. I thought this was an interesting little book, Die Hand Grenade. Training instruction manual. So small arms gain +8. I do a lot of these little minor things with events that, yeah, but they're not meant to skew the game out much. Make Germany uber powerful just by giving a little bit. But just to show the various types of training and training methods and whatnot going on. Okay, medium armored designs have advanced, which will allow us to do assault guns, but see what's going up there. I bet you it's grayed out. Yes, okay, assault guns. We're in 39. Yes, we'll do that. We want to do assault guns. Okay, Beck, that's him, and the Semja, which is the Polish parliament. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland strongly rejects German claims for Danzig and announces Poland will defend its interests without knowing the concept of peace at all. So peace does not look like a good prospect. Again, my complete understanding is Hitler wants war, but just with Czechoslovakia, not with anybody else. Okay, the Deutsches Partei used to be the Carpathian Deutsches Partei. Now, since Czechoslovakia is broken up, we'll support them. Just obviously we don't have a choice there. We sort of started that choice when we started supporting the SDP. Okay, now we are producing lots and lots of supplies, but only 36 over the... Just looking here, yeah. Okay, we're going to up this because we are way effing low. some of that I think may have been sent out. We'll get back into the supply chain here. Others maybe not. Okay. Round attack, focus, advance. Spearhead doctrine. So I think that is over here. Here. Okay, we'll stop that. And is there a 30? Okay. Liaison. We'll do that first. Okay, part of the SA event chain here. The Sudeten's, the stab chief, he's the chief of staff because the official leader of the SA is Hitler. Hitler did not want that to sort of go to anybody else after getting rid of Rome. So when he put Lutz in charge of it, he's just officially the deputy under Hitler, swearing in the Sudeten SA. So this is the ceremony here after bringing all the Sudetens in. Some of these events should have fired before, but just because starting and stopping and things, they didn't. But it's supposed to have happened, well, maybe after the, I don't know. Exact dates are there, but also conditions. So the Sudeten Freikorps. So this is a rather, as a whole, there's the Sudeten Freikorps were 26,000 men strong at its peak, joined the SA after Sudeten joined that, and so that is actually a rather well trained militia element. Okay, probably pulled one off from there. Let's see. Let's click all these. No. And then we're going to select him, and Dresden, I guess, is where we'll sign him up there because we don't want these guys upgrading. And if you note, these are the weaker ones. These are the stronger units here. They were one of the more actually militarized elements of the SA because of being trained as part of the Freikorps movement. I think that more or less concludes all the units for the beginning for the SA. Okay, road network advanced. I think I'm going to be ending those. Well, at least for the time being. Meaning I don't think I'm going to push on to 1940 and 1940. Okay, we want to get these so that I think we can unlock those. So. Defense reports, okay. Minor breakthrough, great. I just want to check to make sure that none of these... Sometimes one of these will have been close and may have been pushed over into the red. And so we'll sit there but not get any development done on it. Okay, road network level 4. Yes, you're going to until November 39. We want to get this done and out of the way as quickly as possible to get benefits, but without any more cost. Yeah, we can see here level 4. So it really is just organization regain rate 0.1% more. National unity doesn't seem to be affected in much. Coastal submarine class. Okay, so we're sort of done for the moment here. We may late 39 come back to some of the 1940 text because I'm just looking at, yeah, would rather do something like that now. I put a lot of work into researching and it was very hard to do so. The SA order of battle. So I'm very proud of what I've done. And I did know of more units that were created, you know, in this part of Poland and Alsace-Lorraine, and units that were created later on after 36. Sometimes they're just sort of reorganization. But so, and quite honest, a unit like these, yes, they were SA brigades or whatever the equivalent that I was drawing the parallels for. But the strengths that were on the ground are not a fixed strength, meaning some of these, some of these are bigger or smaller due to geographical region and membership areas. So that's a guesstimate on my part for some of that. Okay. Radar advanced, very good. I think that's up here. Yes, that's that one. And so allows, okay. All these here, very good. So we want to, I guess, the other, okay. Larger research. Avionics. Okay, the rest are over in avionics. Okay, so we can, I just wanted to see, these are a bit later. Okay, so we're trying to do optimum for cruisers. We'll start with that. Okay, like I was saying, Tatra trucks was that. So, okay, I think Tatra trucks are cool trucks. As you can sort of see from the cab styles, these are sort of some different eras, sort of early 30s, late 30s, early 40s type era trucks. And they were, at least most of them were dual rear axis. I think both were drive wheels. So I think it's a 6x4. Maybe it's a 6x6. I'm not sure. They did have the ability to set those up as a a sort of half track, if you will, meaning that like stored under the bed in places, some track arrangements to go through mud or snow. So they were pretty good trucks. They also, during the wartime, developed one of the more advanced and made in the few hundreds new sort of not suspension, drive train, transmission, whatever, out to the wheels. That was rather advanced and rather well well made and well designed. So there was development during the Third Reich period, but you could see how this, with fold out sides, how that could be turned into a mobile field hospital or a command post, or I don't know, whatever else you might put canvas or something over it to create fold out sides. Just large supply trucks. And this thing here is a truck to basically move a tank, but you could also move a tractor. Those are full, flat ground. You fold that down. You can drive like a 38T or 35T up on the back of this to move them more strategically, is how these were designed to be used. So for like every tank, theoretically, not in practice, you could have one of these trucks to drive it around, get sort of near the front, drive the tank off the back, and then go fight. So, and then you can use the truck to move things like fuel for the tank and whatever else. So, really good. So you have the option here, which I'm giving you, is keep industrial production away from the Czechs, or you can invest more in development. You gain a industrial capacity over wherever here. You'll gain one industrial capacity down there, and some other techs for some metals, supplies, and energy. Yeah, we're running awfully low on those supplies, but yeah. And for until June. So basically, what was that, a month or so? Reduction. So you get one more IC over here. Oh, not good. Not good. Well, it's this. Yeah. So it's reloaded. That may help a bit. Okay. That's why I saved this. Don't know if we're going to come back to this. Dr. Turner has founded the whatever youth group of the flag movement modeled on the Hitler Youth. So these are collaborationist checks that are cast pilot trainings, which that is. So there's a lot of collaborationist checks. And when I say a lot, I'm not meaning majority, but there's a fairly significant amount of checks. These are not Germans, if you will, or German identification, because a lot of these people also spoke German. So it's not these are people who identified as Czechs, who we would generally ethnically call Czechs. They might be able to speak German, but they consider themselves Czechs. Germans would consider them Czechs, as opposed to there were large numbers who had already left, but a fair number of Germans living, say, in Prague, from the old leftover from the old Austro-Hungarian Empire and whatnot. So I guess we're going to be ending this here. Let's save this. Here, I've been trying various things to try to keep this more stable, and I'm not sure. Even playing it on my old machine. Yeah, well, thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. We got this saved here. So we will continue. I know just a few days, but we'll continue soon. So see you next time for more Hearts of Iron.